We're going to get to the drivers now for you, though. In a remarkable move, El Salvador has just become the first country in the world to accept Bitcoin as legal tender. It says the move will give people greater access to banks and their finances, but not everyone is convinced. Rafael Romo is with us. An extraordinary move, Rafael.
Indeed, Max. The government of El Salvador has invested $203 million in infrastructure to install ATMs that will be available around the country where people will be able to exchange Bitcoin for dollars and the other way around. The Salvadorian National Assembly has also created a fund of $150 million so that there's money readily available if people want to exchange their Bitcoin. And even though the law went into effect today, the reality is that there's a small coastal village in El Salvador that has been using Bitcoin for several years. On the southwestern coast of El Salvador,
El Zonte is kind of a sleepy beach town.
Lies a rocky beach that has been attracting surfers from around the world for decades. It's not the kind of place where you would find luxury resorts. But the coastal village of about 3,000 has begun a small financial revolution that has the potential of reshaping the world economy. For the last several years, an increasing number of people at El Zonte have been using Bitcoin as their main currency for daily transactions.
You can pay your car insurance or your school tuition, and they can pay in Bitcoin.
Michael Peterson is an American who has been living in El Zonte for 8 years. Peterson first traveled here as a surfer in 2004. Now he's the director of Bitcoin Beach, a locally led initiative supported by a U.S.-based nonprofit organization. Peterson says the initiative has a dual purpose: developing the community and promoting Bitcoin.
This isn't a business for me. It's just something that loses money for me. Now I have a business in the U.S. that supports my needs, but I just have a love for the community here and a real belief that Bitcoin can really impact the life of those that are unbanked and those that are at the bottom rungs of the economic ladder.
Peterson is not the only one who's betting that Bitcoin will alleviate El Salvador's endemic poverty. Nayib Bukele, the millennial president of El Salvador, successfully advocated for a law making his country the first to adopt the cryptocurrency as legal tender. Venezuela launched a cryptocurrency 3 years ago called Petro that was backed by the country's reserves and natural resources. The case of El Salvador is unique in that it's the first country to make Bitcoin legal tender. Here in Mexico, for example, the country's central bank issued a warning over the summer saying cryptocurrencies pose inherent risks and that dealing with them is not legal under current law. This means that banks are not allowed to trade or offer any transactions with them. Some small business owners in El Salvador, like this baker who makes a living selling sandwiches on the street, say they like Bitcoin because it gives them an alternative to make money.
Pues la mera verdad no lo siento muy difícil.
It truly isn't difficult to deal in Bitcoin at all, he says. Not far from there, this owner of a tortilla shop says she prefers cold, hard cash.
Bueno, eso es nuevo para empezar.
It's something new and we don't have enough information about it, she says. She's not alone. Hundreds of Salvadorians recently took to the streets to send an unequivocal message about cryptocurrencies.
Venimos a convertir.
They're trying to change the whole country into a casino where those who can afford it, like the Bukele family, can get in and play, he said. El Salvador is not a casino. Back in El Zonte, Peterson says people shouldn't see Bitcoin as a threat, but an opportunity.
I think they get it backwards. This is what Bitcoin actually fixes. Bitcoin will bring these opportunities to young people so they don't feel like they have to go to the United States in order to feed their family. They can develop a successful business here. This deters people from entering the gangs because a big reason people enter the gangs is because they feel like there isn't other opportunities for them.
He warns, though, that adopting Bitcoin doesn't mean that El Salvador's problems like poverty and gang violence are going to disappear overnight. But he hopes it will empower those at the bottom of the economic ladder in the smallest country in Central America. And Max, as part of this launch, the government plans to install as many as 200 ATMs around the country to exchange Bitcoin for dollars and vice versa. This morning, President Bukele informed they had to temporarily disconnect the app to exchange Bitcoin for dollars due to what he described as a relatively simple problem. The government of El Salvador acquired 400 Bitcoins, equivalent to just over $20 million. Max, back to you.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Thank you so much, Rafael. Keep across that one, see how it works out.